Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I am doing a part 2 after like, I don't know, 3 months, 2 months of I'm doing part 2. So, and look at that, I'm wearing the same shirt I was wearing in the last video. I promise you I've washed it since then. So we left off at our rough patch, our just that patch of having to finish her, and that was probably one of the most challenging times in our relationship because there was actually one point, and my mom's gonna be mad at me for sharing this to the internet, but at one point my mom got really scared because she was doing a lot of things that were really not dangerous, but it was an ongoing thing of her not going in the alley and freaking out, and we had to do so much to her. Like, I say so much to her. We had to, we were doing different, how do I say this? Like, we were doing CBD at one point, and before that we were doing Guanabins just because she was so stressed out, and like, whenever she would stress, her ulcers would get worse, and then we'd be back at point 1. So, once we kind of knew what we were doing, we only grew from there. We only could go forward once we got over the point of her not freaking out every time we went into an arena, not like brain going away every time we went somewhere. Once we got to the point where she loved barrels again and she loved going and exercising in the pasture, I tell you, I used to just run her in this field out here, and we would just go have fun. And that's what I still have to do sometimes because she'll get really bored because I can only exercise her now. So once we got through that, then I could really crack down on like, okay, I need to push her harder here. I need to check her here because she's really push style except for first. She blows into first, and like, it's like she's a free runner, but she's also a push style at the same time because she runs pretty hard in the first. Then I have to like push her all the way or else I'll hit. And like my last run I posted, you will see that is the consequence, and it is not a very fun consequence either. But I've grown with her. She has taught me so much. Okay, so so I'm trying to think of how, like, because that's not the end of the story. That's not, I didn't just, we went through this and then now we're here, because there's been so much. Like, she has, and this is something we're still dealing with, is her ulcers. Like, we get them gone, and then it's like almost the medicine doesn't stop working, but it's like her ulcers come immune to it. I don't know, that sounds silly, but it's how I think. And we don't have another rodeo for a few weeks, and she's getting injections this Thursday, stifle injections this Thursday, and then hopefully we're gonna get her SI injected here in a few weeks. And that's another thing, is like, she has her stifles where she was raised on a really big ranch, and so to keep the horses in shape, they would swim them a lot, and her stifles were kind of messed up from that, and so her right stifle joint is more narrow than the left, so we have to get her injected quite often, which kind of stinks, but I mean, she's pretty awesome horse. So another thing is, like, I feel like people don't understand the bond that I have with her. I feel like I don't project that enough, maybe. Because I'll tell you one thing, is she's not one you can just go hop on and go make a run and she'll, do great. I mean, she's a really consistent horse whenever she trusts you. I mean, like, there was at one point, and it's so hard to think about now, like, how did that happen? Like, at one point, I took the nose band, so I run her in a combo bit, and I'm trying to, like, work her, trying to use different things on her to where I can, I just have to use less in her mouth, I guess you could say. And I had taken the nose band off, my mom's idea, again. And we ran to first, and she ran up the pin. And then there's this really big race that a lot of people go to, and my last horse ducked really bad, like I said, and I was on this horse, right? She has never ducked with me ever before, and this was actually really dumb of us to take her to this race because we're running into concrete walls, right? Like, there's barrel and there's concrete, and then she ducked on me, and I cried and I cried and I cried. I was like, this isn't supposed to happen with her. I've grown a lot since then. That was like 2 years ago, I think. And like, it's funny now that I laugh on it, whereas like I look back on it and I laugh at it. Whereas then I thought like this was gonna be a never-ending deal. Like, I thought, you know, she's just, I don't know, right? She has grown so much, and like, that's what I don't feel like, and I'm not trying to brag, but like, I feel like I don't give myself enough credit, because whenever we got her, she had 5 runs on her, and I was 10 years old whenever I got her, and I had to season her, I had to grow with her, so I was doing a lot of things at once with her. So I'd gotten this pony, like I said, he was amazing. He basically taught me how to ride, and the deal was, you know, you learn how to ride properly on him, and then you could move to her. So we were seasoning her because I wasn't allowed to make like runs on like go to a rodeo and run her. I can only go to like races and exhibitions and stuff. And so once I got like riding pretty decent, then that's whenever I started like, okay, I can finish this horse. So I had to finish her. We had to do our research, and we had to learn more about ulcers and how we can prevent them and what medicine we need to put her on. We had to learn, you know, I had run a gelding, this amazing gelding my whole life. I had never ran, like, I had run goats on a mare, but that's goats, you know, run a straight line, you're good, right? I had never run barrels on a mare before, and it was super, like, not eye-opening, but eye-opening to what, like, how different mares and geldings are. Like, don't get me wrong, like, I have messed with some pretty salty geldings in my lifetime. Like, my brother has a roping horse, and he was a pretty salty gelding. But I don't know. I feel like she's just she has such a big personality, and I kind of like, I have to like tell myself like, she's a horse. Let's be real, Victoria. Like, she's a horse. But I feel like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's like she's not a horse, but she is. That kind of makes no sense. But just me. I don't know. So now we're going to talk about like my mental game, what I had to do mentally to overcome this wall of like, you're not going to do it. It's not going to work. She's broken. You broke her. You're ruined, right? So I had to tell myself like, you're going to be okay. Like, this is a growing part. You need to cut yourself some slack. Obviously, we're not making excuses. We're cutting ourselves slack. You're 10, 11 years old. Your horse is 10, 11 years old, only been on the barrel pattern, what, 3 years? She was started under saddle whenever she was 6. Yeah, she was started under saddle whenever she was 6. And yeah, so once we got over this mental block, I could start working on her, and I could I started trusting myself a little bit more. I had the knowledge to trust myself. Obviously, I'm not going to start, you know, trusting myself whenever I used to go down the pin like this, because that's kind of hard to do. And I still do it sometimes. Like, you can watch my runs, and I still do that sometimes, because my instinct goes, you need to pull her off. Whenever I'm still working on it to this day, inside foot if you feel her lean, or push harder. Because, like, I know that sounds really silly, but, like, I have to, like, my inside foot, it just makes her stop even more. Literally, she has come to, like, a trot and trotted around my barrels. Like, this one run I posted, and I grabbed third. Anyways, I quit pushing, and so she hopped around second, and that cost me so much time. Like, I didn't have any fluent turns just because I quit pushing her. So I had to start trusting myself and my instinct to quit clinching on and holding and push all the way through. And that's so, like, I had to start, look out and drive all the way to the concession stand. I know it sounds silly, but again, it's what I had to do. Well, that is all for today's video. I hope y'all enjoyed. If y'all have any questions, please, please, please feel free to answer or ask. Feel free to ask. I'll answer. If y'all have any questions, like I said, please ask. I love helping people. That is my thing. I love helping people. If y'all need any help with anything, reach out. If you need help with the mental game, if you need any advice, if you need, if you need anything, please let me know. I am here, and I might not respond right away because I have school, but I'm here. So thank y'all so much for watching, and stay tuned for more action from me, Merc, and Floey. Ooh, big news coming on Miss Floey too. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.